me introduce your host, Fino. It's Sasha the Legit King.
It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes. I feel like Mysterio, I ain't no joke. Titles, I held them both, call me Chris Jericho. Time to cash in my money in the bank. Just like Sheamus when he beat Roman Reigns. Meet me in the cage, like Undertaker when he met Kane. I don't play games, I'm the Triple H. The crowd screaming, you rock like my name's Dwayne. The crowd screaming, you suck like your Kurt Angle. In the ring, I'm the boss just like Sasha Banks. So you'll get whipped like the intro from Sable. King of my stable, don't matter the label. Smackdown or Raw, you get put through a table. Pushed off a ladder or choked with a cable. Throw me a chair, I'ma give him a facial. It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the wrestling podcast known as Ring Champs. And I am one of your hosts. I'm your boy, Just Fino, and I'm here with the one and only Sasha, the Legit King. Sasha, say what's up to the people, please.
What's up, people?
How are you doing, Sasha?
I'm okay. It's almost 4th of July weekend. It's my mom's birthday on the 4th of July, so, it's the beginning of July birthdays. It's like damn near everybody in my family was born in July, so it's pretty nice.
Okay, well, happy early birthday to Mama Sasha.
Yes,
Or the Mrs. Mrs. Legit. I don't know how
just Suzette. Just call her Suzette.
I'm just gonna say the Mrs. of Mrs. Legit. Happy birthday to you. I know you listen to the show. I definitely appreciate that, showing love. So I gotta give my props and love back to you. So, Sasha, I know we are coming off of a PLE that I know you had a great time watching. It was definitely a great day for you in your fandom. Personally, I thought this was, top 5 worst show of all time. And I'll get into details.
For our audience, don't listen to him. He doesn't mean that. Don't listen to him.
This was absolutely terrible. I mean, God awful.
No.
It was going so great, and then some
what do you
things
mean it was
happened.
going so great? The first match.
Look, the first match, it was. Look, we'll get into it, okay? We'll get into it. I'm just not in a good mood, to be honest with you. I'm portraying like I am, but I'm really just sick to my stomach right now.
I'm sure you'll be okay.
I don't know. I don't think I can ever recover from this, but we shall see.
Have a coat smile, my friend. You'll be fine.
We'll see. We will see. I just don't know what to think right now. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about Money in the Bank from London, England. This was yesterday, and we're recording the day after. And this episode, we're going to do a recap of it. Pretty much, we're going to go match by match and, just give our thoughts and opinions. And then later on in the show, we're going to, kind of give our predictions or just talk about what the future is that lays ahead of the WWE after this event. Because this was a, this was a groundbreaking event in lots of ways. We saw there was a lot of surprises here. There was a lot of big moments in this event that I don't know what to think about the future right now. I really don't. But I mean that in a positive way. So I think we should just go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this was Money in the Bank. This is the first major event that was held in London, first pay-per-view / PLE since Insurrection in May of 2002. We've had events in England, like we've had Monday Night Raw, I think it was Raw. Yeah, we had several Raws in England. I know we had a SmackDown one. The most recent one that I can remember was the one that AJ defeated Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. That was right leading up to the, if I remember right, I think it was Survivor Series, which led to the Brock Lesnar versus AJ match, which I thought that was phenomenal. So this is a big event, and the crowd definitely showed up. What you think about that?
About the crowd,
Yeah, the crowd.
I mean, they were very much London. I like the London crowds. I know that that's kind of. I mean, some people think they're polarizing, and I think Cody Rhodes said it best in the press conference after Money in the Bank. He was like, if they're coming to and they're paying and they're having fun, like let them have fun. He said the only I guess the only downfall is like some of their chants might not be appropriate for some of the younger fans, which they are not. But other than that, I mean, they're having fun, and it makes the show 10 times better. Like, you can tell when the crowd's not into it, but they were into everything. I personally would have them be my second favorite crowd of the year, because that Puerto Rico crowd, man, they were loud. I mean, I'm not saying London wasn't loud, but they were my personal favorite. But
No, I agree.
London showed up as I thought they would.
I agree with you. I thought the Puerto Rico crowd was the best crowd so far this year, but like you said, they did show up. They showed out. They had fun, and they are very polarizing. And we'll get into more details with that specifically, because that was brought up during a certain segment of the show. But before we talk about that, continue on with that, let's go ahead and start off with the show. Okay, the first match of the night was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Obviously for the contract, where the winner gets to choose a championship of their choice to have a match for the next year. So the members of this match: Damian Priest, Butch, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Sasha, I'm gonna let you have the floor, because this is more your moment than mine. So I'm gonna let you start off with your recap of this.
Okay, well, let me start off by saying kudos to everybody involved. This match was, I mean, Money in the Bank has been around for, since 2005, so that's 18 years. And I would think after 18 years, it's like, what more can you do in a match? But this match was really great. All the participants definitely belonged in there. Obviously, the person who got the biggest reaction was LA Knight. I mean, this guy is like over like gangbusters. Like, they were just, as soon as his music hit, people were just going nuts. Obviously, Logan Paul, he was not very popular in this match, and I like how Michael Cole made that, he made sure to note that, like, unlike everybody else, Logan Paul didn't have to qualify, so that definitely added something to the story. But I mean, just like pretty much every Logan Paul match we talk about these days, it's like, he's good. Like, what can you say? Like, athletically, he's really good. It's kind of like redundant at this point. Like, this was another Logan Paul thing, and it's like, I realized once he was coming down, I'm like, oh yeah, him and Ricochet from the Rumble. I think so. The match was great. I said that out to the match was really great. I had commented on John Canton's page. He asked, who do you think is going to win Money in the Bank? And I said that my mind is telling me LA Knight, because everybody was riding LA Knight, but my heart was saying Damian Priest. So I was obviously very excited that my prediction came true. And it's not because, my personal feelings for young Damian Priest. It just, to me, it made sense. Like, I understand that LA Knight was the most over person, and if he had won, I wouldn't have been mad at it. But I felt like if we're gonna try to make a story out of this, Damian Priest seemed like the most logical choice to win. Logan Paul wasn't gonna be around very often. Santos Escobar, he's not quite there yet as far as like, he's a great talent. I just don't think he's like found himself all the way. Butch, if he's gonna be Pete Dunne, then I didn't think he was gonna take this. Shinsuke, I love Shinsuke, I just didn't see it. LA Knight, I mean, he's over, but it's like, I wonder. I don't know. I just couldn't see where he'd go from there. Like, I don't think he's beating Roman Reigns. You know, I don't know. I think more needs to be done. Like, I could see LA Knight, like, continuing on with these reactions. He has to win bigger matches. Like, I think he has to be put in with, you know, bigger talent to kind of continue this momentum. And if he does, I don't see why he can't win the Rumble, or at least maybe be last two. Like, I don't see why that couldn't be a thing. But I don't think right now was the time. I think it would have been a good moment, but I don't think long term it would have panned out as well. I think Damian Priest was the right person, because now there was built-in stories there with Damian. So again, I thought it was a great match. The only other thing I will say about Ricochet, I really like Ricochet. I don't have any problem with Ricochet. He's a freaking, I don't know what the hell to say Ricochet is. But the only issue I do have is that I wish that they would do more for him than just constantly saying how freakishly athletic he is and just how he can do things. Because I feel like he's the Shelton Benjamin now of these matches. And I felt like that was always kind of a huge waste, because I love Shelton Benjamin and he was always like a highlight of these ladder matches. But then they really didn't do much with him in between. Like, I know he had IC title runs and everything, and I don't want that for Ricochet. Like, I want more for him. So it's great that he's, you know, a human highlight reel, but I want them to do more with Ricochet. I think they can do more. So I know you're a little mad, but what do you think?
No, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not mad at the result. LA Knight was my pick to win this match. I had it. If he didn't win, I thought Logan would win, because it would kind of make sense for Logan to win it as well. You know, and then talk about like a surprise factor. If, you know, he is the one that's carrying the case, you know, it'd be a surprise when he just shows up and tries to win the thing, you know, or actually cashes in and wins. Like, it would be a legit surprise. So I think that's something that, you know, that's why I had him as my second to win the match. I'm going to just go down the list. Ricochet, to talk about your point about Ricochet, I love Ricochet. I've always loved Ricochet. I've been a fan, you know, since I saw the very first time I saw Ricochet was against Will Ospreay. It's one of their most like famous matches. And he tore the house down with Will Ospreay. And ever since then, I've been a fan of both of them. So I'm in love with Ricochet. I think they are starting to do more with him. If you saw the matches, I mean, they gave him a big win against Shinsuke Nakamura, which, I mean, that's huge in my eyes, because Shinsuke, even though he's not, you know, considered the top tier of like star level, he's still a huge star. He is still a Royal Rumble winner. You know, he's been in the title match at WrestleMania. You know, so he's still a big name, and for Ricochet to get that win over him, and just the whole feud that they've had with Bronson Reed, like being like a kind of a big part of Raw. Like, I think they're starting to see that Ricochet can do more. And I think under Triple H, you know, Triple H is obviously a huge fan of him, going back to their NXT days. So I think it's coming where you see that more that you're expecting, or wanting, I should say, for Ricochet. Now, let's see. Your boy Pete Dunne, or Butch, I thought he was the star of this match, to be honest with you. I thought he was awesome the entire night. I love the backflip off the ladder that he did. You know, I like that he was using the ladder to break people's fingers. Like, he did that to your boy Damien. I thought that was a great little moment that he did there.
I want one of those Brawling Brutes jerseys they had on.
That was pretty
cool.
That was really cute.
I like that.
I liked it. So I got to give, you know, major props to him for doing that. Speaking of major props, Logan Paul needs some respect as well. He needs to start getting more respect. I don't understand why people hate him. which that just means he's great at what he's doing. He's being a heel, but what he's doing and putting his body through in all of his matches is crazy. That 450 he did to Damien. I feel like everything was done to Damien, but that 450 he did to Damien, or no, it wasn't 450. I'm sorry, it was just a frog splash, I think. That he did to Damien on the ladder was crazy. That moment that he did with Ricochet, shout out to Ricochet for protecting him as well, even though he did get cut on his shoulder. I still got to give major props to what Logan Paul did and put his body through, because that's hard to do, especially in a match type you've never been. It's different to do a singles match or a tag team match, but to be in a ladder match, like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy. That's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, it's crazy as hell, and I just gotta give him much respect for that. Let's see who else. And let's just go ahead and talk about LA Knight. LA Knight was obviously the favorite by everyone. Big name, loved by everybody in that arena. Like you said, once his music hit, the crowd just went absolutely nuts. And then when he almost won it at the end, I mean, what more can you say? The crowd was just going absolutely nuts for him when they thought he was going to win. But your boy Damian Priest came and got him. Hit the what's his move? The name of his move?
I don't know if that was South of Heaven that he did. I thought they called it something else, but that's his finishing move, South of Heaven.
So if it was the South of Heaven, like whatever, it was just a nice move that he did. He knocked him off, slammed him down off the top of the ladder, climbed up and won. I thought the match was great. I think that Damian Priest, it made sense why he did win for sure. Like, I don't even think it was a bad move at all. Honestly, there was like 4 or 5 people in this match that if they won, I'll say about 4. There was 4 people in this match that if they won, it wouldn't have been, a bad decision at all. Priest, for storyline reasons, winning, it made sense, and we saw that later on why that mattered so much, and what that could potentially lead to. My mind was racing the minute he won. I was like, okay, what are they going to do for later in the show? What are they going to do? So now, we saw some teases of what potentially could happen. And, I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. But just speaking on the match, I thought the match was really good. Really, really good. Great match. And hell of an opener for Money in the Bank.
Okay, so before we go on to the next match, I have a question, and then I have a little comment. I'll do the comment first. Okay. There was an exchange in the match where I realized that I would pay good money to see Butch and Shinsuke Nakamura have a series of matches. I'd never thought of that before, and I was like, shit, so I would pay money for that. So
for sure.
Yeah, they had a little exchange. Sure. Man, I'm ready for this. So, and then my question to you is, I know we keep saying in every match he's in, Logan Paul is good, he's really good, but to the point, I think somebody said, I don't know if it was Wade or Michael Cole, if he could be a future world champion. And when I heard it, someone say it out loud, my initial thought was I respect what he does. I appreciate that he has such a respect for the business, and that he treats it like that. But I don't think I'd want to see him as world champion. I understand they'd be oh, this is great exposure, but I don't know if I'd go that far. And I understand he was in the match, and the whole point of the match is to win the contract. And maybe that's why I think I only had put 2 people. It was going to be Damien or LA. I didn't really consider Logan Paul seriously, because I'm just I don't think I want that. What do you think about that?
No, I actually would love him as a champion. Even if it's a short run, it's going to be a short run. I don't expect him to be a champion for a year or anything like that, but for it to be let's just say you look at the match he had with Roman. I mean, he put on a hell of a show and almost won the title there, Obviously he wasn't going to win it, but the fact that they're putting him against the top talent and he's having great matches with them. Now, if you want to put that all on, I don't even think you can put that all on the person that he's facing, because he's doing things too.
Yeah,
He's showing out.
Yeah.
So one run as a champion, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't want it to be the two main titles. Like if it was like a United States or Intercontinental, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Right. But the main title, no, I get it. I
don't want that.
I think that it's okay if they went. I think he's definitely gonna get a title at one point. What title? Not sure. Maybe the U.S. title or the Intercontinental. That's probably more than likely what he's gonna get. But him getting the main title, the top title, it's not the. It wouldn't shock me at all. Like I think if he gets more work in, continues to have good matches. I mean, this is a land of, so many shocking things that's happened in the WWE. That would be another shock factor, and he would bring major heat and major eyes to to not only the title but just to the company as well. So I don't have a problem with it at all if that happened one day.
I guess I mid-card title, I'd be okay with it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't see him beating Roman, so we ain't doing all that. And with the other title being so new, but maybe I'm overthinking it. It just felt weird to hear somebody say it out loud, and I was like, oh wow. Like I said, even though he's in the match, it just felt different to hear somebody say it. But all right, so moving right along. Our next match was for the women's tag team titles. Now they just unified them, so now we have one set of women's tag team titles again. They can be defended across all three brands. The champions were Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus the former champions who never lost the title because they had to technically relinquish them due to injury. Raquel Rodriguez, I have to stop myself from saying Gonzalez sometime, and Liv Morgan, who came out just like a Spice Girl. I was like, yes, I was completely ready for that. I was a huge Spice Girl fan in my youth, so shout out to Liv Morgan for that. You want to start?
You can.
All right. So, I mean, obviously the big story coming out of this match was Shayna Baszler just randomly turning on Ronda Rousey. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I always thought that it would come to that. I didn't expect it to happen like that. There really wasn't any indication that there was any problems. Liv Morgan did a great job, like, selling the shock that she couldn't believe it either. And I mean, if this is gonna move us closer to kind of rehabilitating Shayna's badass streak like she had in NXT, I'm all for it. So, I mean, the match was what it was. They did a good job. Liv and Raquel, they're good champions. They said in the press conference that they do want to, like, restore, some prestige into the women. Will actually give it more prestige, I guess.
Isn't that everyone's dream with that title?
I mean, but if you think about it,
it's true though. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right. But I mean, it's been kind of snake bit because okay, Sasha Banks and Bayley, I would argue they did the most with those belts. And then I would say the second team that did the most was Sasha Banks and Naomi, which, Sasha Banks is a common thread apparently in women's tag team wrestling. But I think every time a team has tried to, it's like either the company is just not 100% behind it or somebody gets hurt. I still remember thinking the Iconics were going to do big things, and I was really disappointed it didn't happen like that. So, I'm rooting for Raquel and Liv. I don't have Liz, but Liv, I think they have interesting dynamic. I think every time I see Raquel, I like her more. So I hope they do it. They keep talking about they want to, fight all these people. So I'm with it. I dig it.
No, I definitely do too. I love the tag team. Liv, Raquel I think they've done great things with the titles so far. For them to get it back, I think it's a great chance for not only for Raquel to get better, because I think it's obvious Raquel's going to be a future star for the women's division. And then you got Liv, who is already an established name, a former world champion, to help her along. It's going to be a nice. They seem really close too, so it definitely helps that tag team spirit. And I like them with the belts. I like that since they didn't lose it before, now they get to kind of continue on that streak that they're having. They can have matches and help build the women's division. They already have some good teams already there with Isla Dawn and that team. And then, of course, my mind just went blank with their names.
Caden and Katana.
Yes, Katana Chance. I like that group. I love that tag team as well. I like the two matches they've had on the main roster already, but I've always liked their matches on NXT. So I think they could definitely do some things there. They got to build some more women's tag teams. I don't think there's too many. I know they got the Sonya and Chelsea and other than that, but they need some more established ones. And once we get there, then I think that division can be more uplifted. Now, as far as the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler thing, I think this is great for Shayna. There's been talk that Ronda has a date that she wants to be, I guess officially retired from wrestling. And one of the things she wanted to do was, help Shayna, who helped her get into wrestling, help her get to a better spot.
Yeah.
And I think that this is perfect. Give me a heel Shayna. Her Queen of Spades gimmick in NXT was awesome. She was dominant, and I think that this can help get her back and be potentially a top heel for the women's division. They're Raw, right? They're on Raw.
They're SmackDown.
They're SmackDown. Okay, so I mean, I'm trying to think all the heels on SmackDown. Who do they have on SmackDown that's like a top heel? I'm trying to really think. I don't really think.
I mean, Asuka.
I guess Bayley, but
yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, technically, Asuka is your champion, and she's supposed
and Asuka,
heel,
yeah.
But I think, like I said, when she was in NXT, like Shayna Baszler was like a pure heel. We don't have a lot of that, so
yeah.
I think if this is what they're building towards to kind of, have Ronda give her the rub and kind of rebuild her, I think this is a spectacular idea actually, because they need it. You have Bianca Belair, who's the face. You have. I didn't even think about that. Like, I didn't even think about a Bianca Belair, like, Shayna Baszler match. I believe they had one. Was it in Portland or was that Rhea? It might have been Rhea. I don't remember. But either way, I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm trying to think. I know Rhea and Shayna had a match because I think Rhea beat Shayna for the title.
She
talking about NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it was Rhea who beat Shayna for the title, but I don't think Bianca fought Shayna.
It had to be Rhea then.
Yeah, so it had to be Rhea, like you said. So I mean, just there, yeah. I just think that it's great. It's a great idea. And then Ronda could be the face, even though people would boo her. But I think that maybe if they go to like the badass Ronda when she first started, when everyone cheered her, and then you got this Shayna who's just a pure heel, I think it will be a nice end to not only their feud, but a nice end even for Ronda to put someone over. And who better to put over than one of her best friends?
Yeah, I am curious to see how they're gonna spin this. I didn't even think about that. Their reaction that Ronda gets now is very different from when she started, like you mentioned. So I want to see how they're gonna spin this. I'm all for Baszler being a top heel, but I don't know how they're gonna make this work with Ronda. But
yeah, it's good. And just real quick, as far as the match, I thought the match was pretty good too. They didn't get a lot of time, but for the time that they got, that was pretty good. So
yeah, I think it did what it was supposed to do. So kudos to them.
Yep, for sure. All right, so next match we had was Gunther defending the Intercontinental title against Matt Riddle. This was a match that I was a little disappointed. Uh, it was a good for what they got. It was good, but I thought it could have been a lot better. I've seen these two wrestle before, and they definitely know how to put on a good match. Maybe if they had more time, we now see why maybe time was a little short. But for what it was, I have to say I was just a little bit disappointed in it. But it is what it is. Gunther remains on top. He's a great champion. He's been champion for I think almost a year now. If not, this is a year now. I think he won it last June.
Yeah.
So he's held the title for a year. I think if he holds it to September, I think it's September 9th or 8th or something like that. If he holds it till then, he'll be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. So I expect him to get there because he's just been that dominant. I don't know who can stop him or who they're going to build to stop him, but whoever it is going to get a major rub by defeating the legendary Gunther. What you think?
The match was what it was. I know Michael Cole mentioned that they, Gunther and Riddle had matches in, is it Progress?
Progress, yep.
Yeah. So I had never seen that, so I was kind of like, ooh, give him time. I really want to see it. So I'll be honest, like when I first saw Matt Riddle like in NXT, I was like, I don't really understand. But now I kind of, again, this is kind of like Ricochet. Like I want better for Matt Riddle. I just kind of feel like ever since Randy Orton has been out, he's just been kind of floundering a little bit. And I'm not really like, I know they were trying to push him being more serious, which I'm fine with. He was funny, kind of stoner Matt Riddle for a while, but I kind of wish that he had a little spot because he can go, obviously. Like, even though Gunther was definitely not going to lose the title, I wasn't mad at Riddle being, in there with him because he's definitely more than capable, but again, I kind of wish they would do a little bit more with Riddle.
I think they would have, and I think the plan was to, but then he had some. It was honestly some bad luck. So he had the whole Randy getting hurt. I really believe that they were going to go eventually with Randy putting over Riddle and have Randy turn on Riddle. I think that was the whole plan for them. And then unfortunately, Randy got hurt. And then when Randy got hurt, he had some outside problems that also caused him to lose his spot a little bit. And it was just a combination of all that stuff because I think he got it was like he failed a drug test or something. That was another part that kind of slowed him down the card. He had some family issues as well. So it was just that's what really hurt his run. But I think that he was definitely on that rise. I think the Randy match that I have been predicting for the longest, it just got delayed because unfortunately Randy got hurt. And if that didn't happen, I think Riddle would already be on like the top of the card. And you can see them that they're slowly starting to put him there. I mean, you're putting him against Gunther, and having a nice feud with them. You see him tag teaming with KO and Sammy and main eventing Raws and stuff like that. So they definitely see him as one of those guys. It's just that it was just bad luck, I feel like.
I guess my thing is like he just doesn't have anything of his own. Like even when he had that feud with Seth, I feel like it didn't do anything for him.
Well, that's what I mean. That happened literally.
Right, I understand. It's just
like it was just some bad luck because after that feud, we didn't see him for a few months because of his issues, and that's
now I'm thinking like at the end of this match, what happened. I just wonder if they're gonna have anything for him because then it kind of felt like an afterthought out almost. Like I'm just curious what are they gonna do with him afterwards? Because clearly
after this,
yeah,
I think I know. what's gonna happen, but it's I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to mention it. I think I know what's gonna happen with him though. I think that he's gonna. Let's just say that I expect him to be in a big match at SummerSlam.
I miss Randy Orton, but anyway,
I guess that's just I think we'll
miss
see.
Randy.
I know
like,
I miss him too, and I think that's okay. I'll just go ahead and say it. I think that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be Riddle and Randy at SummerSlam. That's my prediction.
I need them to have more than 5 weeks built for this. I had to wait this long. I need long-term build. I'm
Well,
trying to
I think
better
that there
than 5
will be a long term story, but I think for now, I think I think it'll make sense.
I want cinema, like Bloodline. Maybe not 3 years, but I want cinema for Randy and Riddle.
Well,
Because I tell you, I was emotionally invested in RK Bro. That's what I want.
I could see there's either one or two ways that I could see this. They're either going to do Randy versus Riddle at SummerSlam, or they'll do Riddle and Randy versus KO and Sammy.
I could see that.
And then after at SummerSlam, Randy turns on Riddle.
I assume they'd have to lose for that to happen.
Right, yeah, I would definitely have Rated RKO.
Rousey Baszler situation where you win and you turn on your partner like that.
Yeah, no, it would be after. It would definitely be after the match. Riddle gets pinned and then Randy just turns on him. Like that's what I see. I think that's the feud that's gonna happen for Riddle. Riddle's waiting for that feud. He needs it because even though this feud with Gunther was good, we didn't get the match because it's Gunther. They're building Gunther up, and a dominant win against Riddle is still big for Gunther.
Yeah.
And we see where Gunther's going now. We know he's going against Drew McIntyre.
Boy, howdy. I'm very happy to see Drew McIntyre back. I'm glad all those rumors. I mean, Triple H said, Drew would call him and kind of laugh about all the stuff that was being written. But I'm really happy that Drew McIntyre's back. And I really hope that if there is some truth to, it's like I hate talking about people's money, but if it's like a contract thing or like them giving him, I guess them more respect, because he totally did help carry that pandemic era. Like for him to be his first title win to be during a worldwide pandemic, that's insane in itself.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because it literally happened like what, a week or two before.
Yeah, I remember watching the documentary he did, and he said, of course, a worldwide pandemic would happen when it's time for Drew McIntyre. And I remember when he won the Royal Rumble, it was in Houston. I'm so mad that I didn't go. But when he eliminated Brock Lesnar and then he went on to win, I still remember hearing that reaction, just sitting at home watching TV. Drew McIntyre is a big deal, and I think it kind of says something about how the roster is so stacked that you have all these people like that. But I still think he needs his flowers and more respect on his name, because he is a big deal, and I'm glad that he's getting this feud with Gunther, because obviously Gunther's a big deal too. So I think this is good for him, and I really liked their match with Sheamus at WrestleMania too. That triple threat was really good. So I'm anxious to see what happens with Drew and Gunther now. So I'm all the way ready for that.
Yeah, I am too. That's gonna be a hell of a match. Now I will say that there is a report saying that he's still not he still hasn't re-signed with the company. That is the report though, but it's Wrestling News Observer, so we'll see how that is.
Damn it, let's have this then.
Yeah,
let's go what we have. Don't go with Drew. Let's just enjoy this stuff.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a good match, so I can't wait for that as well. All right, so let's get on to the next match. Next match of the night was the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio, who also had the World Heavyweight Champion, the women's. Yeah, is it the World? Not World Heavyweight. What is it? World Women's Champion.
think so.
I think this I don't know the exact name, but whatever. The women's champion, Rhea Ripley by his side. What do you think about this match?
I mean, I didn't think Dom was gonna win, so
I thought there was a chance.
I didn't think so. I mean, to me, honestly, I mean, I know they've been having these promos, and Dom is clearly the biggest heel, like pure heel, and Cody is just shooting up. Like he's just going up every time. Like he's all over the marketing. Like sometimes I forget Cody Rhodes was in AEW. He just seems like he was always a WWE guy. Like he just kind of threw himself back in there, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, you were always here, okay. But this kind of seemed like a little placeholder. Like they both didn't really have anything, so they were just like, hey, let's put together a little feud for this to kind of both keep their momentum going. But like I said, I didn't think Dom was going to beat Cody, and I think the match was what it was. You know, Rhea's always kind of making her presence known. I do kind of wish again that they were building. I understand, like, you know, the match we're going to talk about later, you know, that was the purpose for that match, but still I'm looking for some more contenders for Rhea, because she's doing great work with Dom, but it's kind of like that title is really not doing anything right now. So, but like I said, this match was fine. It was what it was. What do you think?
The only reason I thought that he had a chance is because I thought we would see someone interfere more than Rhea. I thought we'll see Brock Lesnar. I thought Brock may cost Cody the win. And then not only does that help that feud, but then it obviously helps Dom get a win. And that'll be something that he can just keep bragging about and just even add more heat to him. You know, so that's what I was kind of hoping for. But, you know, for what it was, you know, the match is what it was. It was just a way for, you know, it was kind of like a filler for Cody. Because, you know, I think we know what's going to happen for SummerSlam, especially from an interview that Cody did right after this event was over. He did with Ariel Helwani. So after that interview, it kind of sealed the deal. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen next. But you know, unfortunately, we didn't get that interference like I was hoping. But for the match is what it is. Cody got the win. You know, hitting Crossroads. First of all, he did a great Cody cutter, by the way. Dom sold that perfectly. That was like awesome to see. I love that moment. But Dom's just showing how much of a great heel he is. I love the pairing with Rhea. I do agree with you that they need some women on the Raw roster, because she really does not have any threats that I see, at least. To be honest with you, I don't even really know. Like, I'm expecting them to save Becky and Rhea to Mania. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. So until you can get to there, she needs somebody to give her a good feud, because not then her reign is not going to be as special as what Bianca's was, because at least Bianca had Becky, you know, she had Sasha, she had Asuka, like she's had top names.
Bailey.
So, you know, Rhea needs somebody. I don't care who. I don't care if you got to bring somebody up from NXT. Like, I need somebody to face her, because I'm sorry, but Natalia's not it.
And they're supposed to face off tomorrow on Raw. So.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like.
Already pretty much beat her. It's like
she destroyed her. So I don't really see the point of it. But if it's, I don't know. They just got to find somebody, because you're kind of hurting.
But maybe it leads to something. Like, maybe they're giving this natty match another go, and maybe somebody will come up. Because at this point, it's like, there's no point in doing this another time and nothing happens. So now I'm thinking, like, I got something? Like, Triple H, you out there cooking? Because
I think it's more for Natty's. I think Natty's turning into something else.
Can you turn? I mean,
I don't know what, but the way they've been teasing her, to me, it's like she's gonna be changing her gimmick or changing something about her. And I think this match is gonna lead to that because I think she gets destroyed again. So I don't know what they can do. Maybe she goes heel and try to build the younger baby faces up so that Rhea does get, a competition. I don't know the role they can take. I'll be honest, I already forgot who's on the Raw roster from the women's side. So because we really only seen, Becky, Trish, we've seen Zoe. I know Io and Bailey are SmackDown.
Zelina SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Asuka SmackDown.
Charlotte.
Sasha,
Bianca. So yeah, I don't know who's really on Raw.
Raquel Liver tag team. So it's like, yeah, who else here?
Yeah, Raquel and see, Raquel would be a nice one. Liv would be a nice
that would have
one.
been nice.
But I don't think that Raquel's there. I don't think they need Raquel for something else here. She's not ready to go singles. So I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I just have no idea. So yeah, they definitely need to build that up and get something quickly, because if they don't, it's gonna be a long day. Yeah. I can just tell you that.
Great. So then, just out of nowhere, John Cena shows up on his day off. Damn it! Like that music hit, and I'm in my room by myself, and I just kind of looked around, like nobody was gonna tell me like what's going on, and there he is. He just shows up. It's crazy, just randomly in the middle of the show. Just it's telling my time's now, and then there he was talking to the cameraman, pull out his little towel, and we were there. John Cena. How did you feel about this? Because I stayed off the internet all day. Pretty much that whole week. I just stayed away from all that stuff because I did not want to know anything about this show. So, what did you think? I know you had people over. How did they react when John Cena just popped up?
We went crazy. So, my friend actually went to use the bathroom after the match, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was the only one in the room. And then all of a sudden, I hear Cena's music. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I just didn't believe it. I thought I was just hearing things. And then I saw him, and I just went absolutely crazy. I was like, oh my God. I was just going, wow. And my friends, they one ran in from the kitchen, the other one ran in from the bathroom, and we were just going crazy watching that. I absolutely was shocked. Had no idea. There was no indications, no leaks, no nothing that he was even there. And it was absolutely crazy. I loved it. The fans absolutely loved it. They went crazy for him as well. What a great moment. What a great shock. It kind of reminded me of the SummerSlam appearance that he did. Or wait, was it Money in the Bank or SummerSlam they came out when Roman was in the ring?
I think it came out before, and then didn't they have a match at Money in the Bank? The crowd had just come back.
Oh no! I think it was Money in the Bank, and I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think it came out at Money in the Bank because they had the SummerSlam match.
Damn. Okay, Roman's had a lot of matches.
I think that's what it was. I think
it's been a long 3 years, guys.
So I guess it's been, I think Money in the Bank is like John Cena's return every time.
He has had a lot of him and Punk, and then he won the title. I mean the briefcase, and then him and Roman. And he's had a lot of Money in the Bank moments, I guess.
Yeah, so I gotta say, Money in the Bank must be his favorite. So it was pretty cool to see it, and I just loved his interaction. I loved his whole promo, talking about how polarizing the fan base is, especially there in London. It wasn't him just trying to kiss their ass. It was actually legit. You could feel it. and
I respect.
obviously just teasing the world with saying, "Hey, WrestleMania in London, let's make it happen." I think that's something that WWE definitely does want. Uh, I think the main issue is, London's got to have to, they got to have to pay for it, but London's so big that they probably don't need to pay for it or don't want to. So I think that's the biggest. I think the people they were talking about was not the WWE management, but more about I guess the city officials or government, or I don't know who makes the decisions for events happening in London. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something that has to happen. I feel like it has to happen, especially after this promo, because the fans just proved that they definitely deserve to have a Mania in London, and what a Mania that would be.
I mean, I don't necessarily. Like I said, I'm not in government or whatever. I don't really understand why, if it was a case of London officials like kind of holding up the process, like Triple H said during the press conference after, that like it's a lot of planning and a lot of logistics, like how many people you got to bring over. Because if you notice, like even with this event, like like it was Wade and Michael Cole, like Corey Gray, like a lot of people weren't there. So I'm thinking like with an event like so big as WrestleMania, like that's got to be a beast to plan, and then have that across the pond. That's just, I don't know. That just like a really big undertaking. So I would think that's the biggest obstacles you overcome.
The thing is, the reason why it's more money is because, if you notice, like, they actually bid. Cities are actually bidding for Mania.
Right.
They can't go to London. I did a little digging and read some stuff. London gets like so this is the main thing, the main crust of it. So when the main reasons why cities want WrestleMania and bid these money is because WrestleMania brings in so many tourists into the cities and into the area. So many businesses build up because of this, right? So that's why they bid millions and try to get it. Now London is a place that they get like 20 million tourists a year, or it was like a big number like that, right? And so they don't need the tourism, they don't need any of that WrestleMania brings. So to pay for a WrestleMania, it's not like there's like, we don't need it. Like, why should we have to pay for something that we're gonna get anyway? We're gonna get tourism, because when people, especially if it being London, everyone goes to London. Like, especially Europe, that's one of the top cities after New York City. I think London is like one of the most tourist go-to places in the world, and that is really the main crust. Now Triple H is not going to say that, but that is the main issue. It's really not getting people over there. Trust me, that ain't no problem. They can bring the people over there,
like the crew and everything. Like,
yeah, that's not a problem. It's really not a problem, because they can do the same thing they do with the Saudi Arabia show.
But I mean, it's Mania though. Like,
it is, but they set up every show in Saudi Arabia like if it was a Mania.
I don't know. I mean, I get your point though, with London being such a huge tourist attraction. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't think they would. I think it would be kind of crazy for you to put that idea out there. I mean, I know you're probably trying to appeal to people to make it happen, but I would hope that something was kind of already in the works. Don't get people's hopes up.
Oh, they've been wanting it, but there was another reason too. The other main reason, and I don't know if you thought about this, but guess who's having a show in London in 2 months?
I'm aware of that.
AEW's having their major show in Wembley Stadium, which is the same location WrestleMania would be at. Now, I don't know what their details were, but obviously it's not main. They sold they pretty much sold out what they did. Now Mania will have more people, more seats available and stuff like that, but that's another reason why they did it. You know, it's the same reason WWE dropped news about their video game on the same day that AEW Fight Forever was released. You know, it's a counterpunch pretty much.
It's all strategy, huh?
It's all strategy. It's smart strategy. You know, but it is what it is.
Fair enough. All right. And just real quick, Grayson Waller, I think he did really good. I feel like Grayson Waller is kind of what... I'm not going to say anything bad about Austin Theory. I just think I don't know, a Grayson Waller, John Cena thing, I think I'd be a little bit more into than what we got with him and Austin Theory. Because like I said, they really haven't done anything with Austin Theory, which I feel like was one of my points in one of our first episodes. What they were going to do with him afterwards, and really nothing is materializing this huge win. But I really liked Grayson Waller's interaction with John Cena. He seemed super comfortable. He didn't seem intimidated at all. The crowd was trying to insult him, and he would kind of like snap back at him. He was very quick on his feet, so I really liked Grayson Waller in this segment.
I think the biggest news, one of the biggest stories that came out of this whole show was the fact that Grayson Waller is now healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's clearly healed from his broken leg, and I think that Grayson Waller is going to have a very bright future in the WWE. I expect him to have a huge match at at SummerSlam. It may be against Cena, I don't know. But if they save his first match and it's against Cena and he wins, we're going to get the true Grayson Waller effect.
Hey, if he's gonna give what he gave last night, I want to see what he's got. So, eyes are on Grayson Waller. Good job to him. All right, so our next match was the women's Money in the Bank. It was Bayley versus Io Sky versus Zelina Vega versus Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, and Becky Lynch. I feel like this was a good match. At times it was kind of chaotic, like a little bit, but my favorite part of the match was the end, because that was really creative. Io Sky, and I'm skipping the whole match, but it's like that was my favorite. Io Sky handcuffing Bayley and Becky Lynch together again after so many of these matches, and now that you've added a second Money in the Bank, you know, I know they used to do it with Raw and SmackDown. They'd have two, and then they stopped that for a while, and then it was now it's men and women. So to have all those Money in the Bank ladder matches, but you're still coming up with creative ways, that was really, really cool. And that little added insult to injury to have Io, I don't think it was a mistake that she climbed over Bayley to get the title and not Becky. And I thought it was interesting because after in the press conference, you know, they had Damian and Io because they won the briefcases, but Bayley was there sitting next to her. If you can kind of see their body language, and Bayley even saying, you know, oh, we won, and, you know, Io saying, oh, we're still damage control. So I like how they were still slowly trying to make it seem like they were still good, but you could tell it's not. So
yeah, I gotta watch the press conference. I didn't get to watch that, sit down and watch it. So I'm gonna check that out because I was curious about what they would do with that, and you just told me, so I would love to see her facial expressions and how she was reacting to that. And I thought that was pretty cool. I gotta say about this match, I may put it a little higher than the men's. And the reason why they were both great matches. I gotta give first major props to Trish Stratus. Thank you, Trish, because the spot she was doing in this match was way more than I expected.
Yeah,
she was taking huge bumps, and she was looking like she was in her prime. it was really impressive what she was doing. She took several bumps onto ladders. I mean, she took the rock bottom off of one. I'm not sure what Becky calls it.
A manhandle slam.
Okay, yeah. So she took that move on her. So that was just absolutely crazy. I mean, it was. I got major props to her. I got to give props to that. I thought Zoe did a great job in protecting Bailey. Protecting Trish throughout the match and doing those little tag team spots that they were doing, and always there attacking Becky. And I just love that whole interaction that they had. It was kind of like a story within the story of the match, bringing the handcuffs into it. Excellent finish, like you stated. I love Zelina Vega, doing the move onto Zoe Stark. Oh man, God, my mind just went blank about the name of the move.
Code Red.
Code Red, yeah, doing Code Red, which obviously that's Amazing Red's finish, and that's her cousin, which I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It was an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the show. I didn't even know that was her cousin. I know she trained with him, but I didn't know they were related. So that's just that was a great spot that she did, and I thought I knew that hurt for Zoe because God, that was crazy. But I love
Zelina's
that.
being so small. It's like, wow,
Yes.
Oof.
And then gotta love the backflip that Io did off of that ladder. She jumped up high too. I was worried. I thought she might miss like all the people and just go outside. That's how high she jumped. I just thought she missed the mark, but it was just perfect. I mean, it just shows you why she's the genius of the sky. So I shout outs to all the women in that match. I just thought they all performed. They all did a great job. Excellent finish. Creative as all hell. And it was. I just like that we saw two Money in the Bank matches, but like they were completely different, and I like that. So hell of a thing. I love the fact that Io won. That was my pick. I wanted Io to win this because I think Io. I've mentioned it before in previous episodes that I think that they're gonna push her. I think she's gonna be a baby face pretty soon, and I think she has potential to just be an all-time great for the WWE. I think that's just how much respect and love I have for her, and I can't wait for the potential of an Io Sky versus Asuka match at whenever they want to choose to do it. I don't care if it's Mania, I don't care if it's SummerSlam, I don't care if it's whatever it is. I just want to see that match. They have a long story with each other. They've been, part of the same faction over in Japan. They've been tag team partners. They've been friends for God knows how long. So it's just there's already a story there that the WWE can build upon, and you can have an excellent feud between Io and Asuka that I think it's just a dream match for me personally, within the confines of WWE.
I agree, and I also want to see. One day, I'd like to see Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. That's a match that I think is going to be interesting. I don't know if she'll be the one she cashes in on, because like you said, that Asuka match is always there, but I think it would be interesting. And I think maybe after this inevitable feud with Bailey, maybe she gets with Rhea. So who knows? It's like we could talk about at the end again with the future ramifications. But like I said, it was a good match, very creative. I really hope Zelina Vega is okay. But yeah, it was really, really good. I liked it.
All right. So the next match we had was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth freaking Rollins and Finn Balor. This was another match that I thought for what they did was good, but for me it was just a little bit underwhelming because I expected more. I just wanted this to be like an all-time classic type match. We didn't get that, but it doesn't mean that what we saw wasn't good. I did like your boy coming out and kind of like teasing it You know, he eventually did cost Finn Balor the match, and with the little, uh, he stepped up like he was thinking about entering the match and kind of making it a three-way and stealing the title. It was a nice little distraction that eventually cost Finn Balor the match. And then after the match, we did see like a little, let's just say like a little heated argument between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. But Seth Rollins did ultimately win the match. Well, what do you think about this match?
Let me say that out of all the matches on this card, this match made me think the most. I was underwhelmed by it too. And it wasn't so much because of what was happening in the ring. I felt like this low-key, outside of the bloodline, Civil War and their storyline, I felt like this had the second most compelling story out of anything. Yeah, we're like, who's going to win Money in the Bank? You had, like I said, the Bloodline Civil War. You had the tag team titles. But this actually had what I felt like was a good story. And I'll be honest with you, I know we didn't do like official picks, but I wanted Seth to lose. Like, I wanted him to lose. I felt like, yes, I understand he just won the title, but I also don't want... I feel like, a lot of good has come with, the change in the regime. But one of the things that I kind of feel like sometimes that takes away with it is, if you notice, a lot of these title holders have really, really long title reigns,
Right.
which is fine. But then it kind of takes away. And I know I'm always saying, like, as long as it makes sense, you shouldn't go with the moment. This was one of those situations where I felt like this Finn winning would have been better for a story going forward. Because I feel like even in these past few weeks, Finn has had this spark, this little extra aggression. And it made sense because that story they were telling with him, winning the Universal title, having to give it up, and even showing that little clip of Seth kind of laughing in his face when it happened. To see him, it's been all these years, and he came back, and he was going back to smiling Finn Balor. Every time he'd get in a quote unquote serious feud, they'd bring the demon out. And I think I had read somewhere where he said he kind of felt like it was a crutch. And now that he's in Judgment Day, and you could just kind of see him just being more distant, and he was just more obsessed and focused on this title, I really felt like it should have been him. I think that would have been a really good story to tell. And honestly, I feel like him winning would have done more because, okay, Seth won, and now what? He's going to go back to open challenges? Like, what are we going to do here? He's not going to go with Drew because Drew is busy now, because Drew was on Raw, which now I just thought about it. He's on Raw, and, well, yeah, Gunther's on Raw too, so okay, never mind. But where's Seth going to go now? To me, if Finn had won, okay, now you have this heel, now you have, if they wanted to kind of run it back with him and Seth, that's fine. You have Damian in the back. It's going to cause some friction in Judgment Day. I just feel like there was more opportunity with Finn. And I feel like his character had a real legitimate reason to be upset. And like I said, I don't want every title to have a long reign. We had that with Bianca Belair, even though her reign was wonderful and she was a fighting champion. And it's kind of like reigns like hers and Roman and Gunther's. Those make sense to have long reigns because of what they did. Seth, it's like, I don't want both main titles to have these super long runs. I'm not saying he needs to like be a transition champion or something. I just felt like Finn needed this more than Seth did. And I feel like this would have been a good opportunity to make a real moment for this new title, giving it to somebody else who never really got that opportunity on the main roster. and he seems to be in a zone because now it's like you beat him, and I kind of feel like it kind of took away a little bit of that luster. Yeah, he's gonna feud. Him and Damien are having back and forth, but I think it would have done more for Finn if he had won. It'd have been shocking. It would have given a moment, but I think there's a lot more meat on that bone. Because, like I said, where do you see Seth going after this? I know we're almost to the future part, but like, have you thought about where Seth is going to go after this?
I haven't thought about that. So I'll tell you this: the minute Damian Priest won the contract, I thought this is exactly what I told my friend. I was like, Finn's gonna win, and then Damian's gonna cash in on Finn. That was my prediction because I kind of did want that little tease where there's going to be like a little breakup between the Judgment Day in a way, or just some heated tension in there. By having that, I thought Finn would win the match. It was actually, even before that, I had a feeling Finn may even win, even if Damian didn't win the contract. Although ultimately Seth Rollins was probably going to be. Before the Damian Priest match, I had Seth Rollins winning, but I wouldn't have been shocked if Finn had won. Now, where Seth Rollins goes after this, I think they do continue the feud with Finn. Finn can use that as saying that, I got distracted or whatever, and it could just continue to feud. I don't think it hurt Finn because it was a distraction that did cost him. So I think they kind of protected him in a way, but also continuing. They basically continue two different stories at the same time with this. The potential tension between Finn and Damian, but also Seth and Finn, because now Finn can use this as, hey, look, I got distracted. I won my rematch at SummerSlam. And I think that's where you can go. Seth can still drop the title. At the same time, you could still have Damian kind of tease that he's going to cash in on the winner. Or even cash in and join in the match and make it a triple threat, similar to what Seth did when he first won the Money in the Bank contract.
I mean, if that was the case, I get what you're saying about them protecting Finn in that. I don't know, but would you think it would take away if, they did have Seth and Finn again at SummerSlam? Because then I feel like people will be kind of expecting Damian to come out.
No, it's fine. The expected is okay as long as it's a good expectation. That's good as long as you're building a good story. And I think the story of Judgment Day kind of like imploding, even though I don't think they will. I think this is more of a ploy that they're doing to kind of like trick Rollins and just take the title off of him. I think that's what they're gonna eventually lead to, is kind of like a fake implosion. But this is all part of the Judgment Day's plan. Like I just have a feeling it was something like that.
So let me ask you this. So tomorrow night, let's say Seth comes out, and let's say they don't continue Seth and Finn. Then what is your opinion on if this match did anything for Finn or not?
If they don't?
Yeah, if they don't continue this, now what's your opinion on it?
Then it was just used as it was then pretty much that it was used to continue the Judgment Day story.
But do you think, I feel like that would have been a bit of a, like, I get it, but then it was like, maybe I was just a little bit more invested than I realized about it. I just thought this is...
No, you're right. The match definitely was underwhelming from what we expected. But it's okay as long... I don't mind underwhelming things as long as it leads to something more. And I feel like the Judgment Day story is more important in building that than it is to have a great match between Finn Balor and Seth.
No. I don't mean as far as like the match quality. I guess listening to Finn Balor's reasoning and kind of how he's been acting, I guess he made me actually believe, like, yeah, man, that was kind of screwed up what happened, and he never did get his. Like, I think he did a good job of making me believe, like, shit, like you do deserve this, you know. Like
Oh,
he's the heel,
yeah.
obviously, but I wasn't talking about the match. Like, the match, I honestly wasn't that invested on how good the match was. I wanted him to win for story purposes.
For
Like, I didn't
story,
care
okay,
how it
okay.
happened.
Well, if this is leading, I think if it's leading to more of a Judgment Day. I mean, if anything, I think this is going to help lift both Finn and Priest into higher levels if they do have this tension, and if this does lead to potential feuding between them, because this is obviously going to help Damian get into a main event status. The contract doesn't help him get there, but I think a feud with Finn can help him get there, because I think they consider Finn on a main event status. I mean, if he's fighting for titles and stuff like that.
I would have had him.
I would have had him win.
Yeah, exactly. I would have had him win to kind of cement that, because I don't know whether you want to believe it or not. It's like, I'm happy Damian won, but I don't think this is the right time for him to cash in yet. I still think he needs more feuds. He's been working really hard. Like, you just kind of keep trucking on, and you have that briefcase in your back pocket when it's time to pull the trigger. But I don't think that moment is now for him. Like, I still think there's more to do to make it like, okay, yeah, when he's champion, it's okay, yeah, we're here. This makes sense. Right now, I don't think it was. Even if it had won, I wouldn't have had him cash. I wouldn't have had him cash in on him at that time. I don't think it was right. I think then you kind of have that slow. If you wanted to continue like Finn and Seth, like you said, that's fine. If Finn was champion, have Seth chase, but always kind of have Damian loom in the back and kind of keep that tension. But I wouldn't have even had him. I wouldn't have had him cash in right then and there. But I don't know. I still feel like Finn should have.
It's just a feeling I had.
Yeah, even if like they run it back tomorrow, have like an open challenge with Seth, and then Finn accepts and he wins, that would be cool too. Like, I'm okay with that, you know.
I don't expect Seth and Finn to be over. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think he needs to win. It makes more sense, and it doesn't take anything away from Seth. I just don't think you should have your main titles have those super lengthy runs, because some of them work and some of them don't. And I don't see Roman lose. I mean, we'll talk about that in the next one, but as far as the titles, depending on, I mean, you already know who I want to beat him. Depending on when that happens, you know, we'll see. But I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow or anything, or even Friday. So, but yeah, speaking of Roman, then we had the main event. They billed this as the Bloodline Civil War.
Yeah, you sure the show didn't end after the Seth Rollins match? It ended for me.
Oh, you know what? I did not ask you how you felt about this. I was more caught up in how you felt about Señor Money in the Bank winning, but I did not ask you. So for all you guys listening, this is going to be news to me too. How you felt about the Bloodline Civil War. It was Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. This was a long one. This is like over 30 minutes. But yeah, I guess I'll say it because I don't know if you want to. But Roman was pinned by Jay, and Michael Cole even mentioned it on commentary that before last night, the last time Roman Reigns had been pinned was December of 2019. So it's been 3.5 years. It had been 3.5 years before yesterday that Roman Reigns had been pinned clean in the center of the ring. And it was by...
Was it clean? Was it?
I mean...
Let's just say this. First off, no. Stop it, okay? Last night, we had a referee that was doing slow counts all night, okay?
Oh, what?
He was doing fast counts every time that the Usos were pinning.
That was the first time I'd ever heard somebody, the lunacy.
Okay? He had...
Oh my goodness.
He missed the low blow, the obvious low blow okay, that was supposedly a callback to when Roman did it to Jay. That doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter, okay? Who
Wait a
cares?
minute. Wait a minute. I feel like if this was the other way around, you would not be saying all of this.
It was an obvious low blow. The whole world saw it, okay?
I
The
like how you
commentators
skirted
saw
not
it.
answering my question. Very
This
good.
was blasphemous. This match
Was
didn't even
it?
happen. It shouldn't even count. I expect that Paul Heyman should be talking to officials to get this match banned from the record books. Okay, it should have
What's
an
Adam Pearce gonna
asterisk.
do? Please, spare me your foolishness.
This
Spare me,
is
okay?
this was crazy. I was complaining about the referees the entire night. He was terrible.
Not too much on the poor referee who looked like he was in pain when he took that ref bump, by the way. Like it got him in the rib. But no, you're the only person that I know that was referencing the referee. That looked clean to
Slow
me. The
counts.
pads clean.
He
Slow.
was 1, 2,
The lies.
2.2. Like he was just he didn't know how to count to 3. But then all of a sudden now you want to count to 3 at the end. Like, okay.
I know good and damn well you're not gonna sit here and try to tell me that this man's slow counting. What happened was no.
Terrible. It's
Look,
absolutely
we don't have time for revisionist history, okay? It was clean tag. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing.
So there was no low blow.
I mean, hey, Roman had his legs open.
All right. Revisionist history. Okay. All right.
No, Roman had his legs open. You just tried to say that didn't happen. We did it to Jay. So I guess we're both in some little revisionist history. It's just that kind of day. Bottom line is, Roman was looking up at them lights at the end of the night, okay? And I'll be the first to say it, we the ones. So don't try it.
Now you want to use that again. Okay. All right.
That's right. Main event, Jey Uso coming at you. And I don't think it was an accident that he was the one that got the pin. I think this is foreshadowing. It's going down. Count your days, Roman Reigns.
First off, it's not what you think is going to happen is not going to happen. Look, let me say the non-biased part, okay?
What do you mean?
Let me say the non-biased part of this show, okay? This was a good match. Great storytelling. Obviously, it had the worst ending in the history of professional wrestling, but you know, I thought for what we got, it was really, really great. We'll love to see them run it back because obviously this match had an asterisk behind it. You know, I thought everyone showed out. Everyone did their thing. Jay, you know, he somehow got the win and got the pin on my tribal chief. I don't know. Whatever. If you want to call it clean, I guess. But you're using dirty water to clean. It's just.
I think Cody Rhodes like the word if we're gonna talk about dirty finishes.
You said what?
I said I think Cody Rhodes like to have a word if we're gonna talk about Roman Reigns and dirty finishes.
You like to talk about the past. I'm talking about right now.
Well, that match happened yesterday. It was in the past.
No,
it's over. Main event, Jey Uso.
Look, at the end of the day, great match. You know, it was obviously the worst part of the show by far.
Was it?
But it was a great match. They lived up to the hype. I can't wait for Roman to get his revenge because this is not over. This is far from over. You know, we still got a lot more story to tell. You know, next week we're in Madison Square Garden, Roman's home, and we'll hear from the crowd. Well, I mean, we'll hear from our tribal chief, possibly. If not, that means that we'll hear from him 2 weeks from now at Raleigh, North Carolina, in the arena that I will be in there, honoring my tribal chief.
Oh, Lord. I didn't know you were going to that.
I am going there, and if he is there, I will be the only one, just like the tribal chief. I even got my shirt ordered for him. Okay, so it's going to be a hell of a show.
You're going to be the only one, huh?
Be the only one. But it's going to be, let's just say there's hell to be paid. That's all I gotta say. If Jay thinks that he's gonna get a title shot because he pinned him, yeah, we got more. There's more competition out there.
I mean, to be the first dude to do so in 3.5 years, I would think that deserves a little bit more than pat on the back.
I don't think so. Let's just be honest. I don't even think that was a. I don't think he deserves it at all. In fact, he's not even a main eventer. They need to take that name away. He's lost. He just loses main events. He lost yesterday, in my eyes. If you have to cheat to win, you lost. So he obviously cheated.
Wait a minute. If you have to cheat to win, look, did we just do a whole show on Eddie Guerrero? Wasn't that his whole career? Like,
loser.
Look, I would not have you disrespect main event Jey Uso. And I don't know why you're pretending this is not going to happen. If memory serves me correctly, I predicted Señor Money in the Bank. So now I'm going on to predict main event Jey Uso gets that shot against Roman. So
how much you want to bet he loses? How much you want to bet? I'll put whatever. Name the amount. I'll double it if you're right.
Shit, it's rent time. I'm not betting nothing.
Exactly. I will double the amount that you say, and I'll give you double if he beats Roman.
Look, I'm not taking that bet because I got kids. All right, I'm gonna Heath Slater this thing.
I would bet my house that he doesn't beat Roman.
Look, I wouldn't want to. I mean, I would put you out. I'm not gonna put Duke and Roman out, but just saying. Look, just
embarrassing. They should be embarrassed.
Why?
For that booking. It's okay though. It's all right.
Because if they had lost, I mean,
it would have been right.
Then what?
There's nothing. He's the tribal chief.
It
starts and ends with him.
No, this makes it way more interesting because now I've been waiting. Now Roman's been knocked down a peg. He's probably going to be unhinged. I look forward to seeing this man go next.
You know what? I hope Jay gets the title shot at SummerSlam. Please make it happen. Please make it happen. Please. I just want to see him get his ass whooped now. That's all I want to see. You know what? Let's just jump to the future. I'm predicting that we're going to see them at SummerSlam and Roman's going to kick his ass. That's what I'm... Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Let me ask you this. In the event, and don't say that it's not going to happen because anything can happen. Let's say Jey Uso wins. What are you going to do?
I'll probably never watch wrestling again.
You lie. We have a show to do. You better not.
No. I mean...
We are in camps.
It just, I don't know. I just don't see him losing at SummerSlam. Like, it's a big event, but I just don't see it. It's gonna, obviously Jay's one of the top names to do it, but I think he's gonna have to do more. Just pinning him earns him the shot, but I don't think it's enough to give him the win. He needs to do more, maybe potentially win a Rumble to earn that shot back after he loses. That's probably the way I would do it if I was booking Jey Uso. Maybe have, even if they did like he starts from the number one spot or something. I don't know. You know, he needs more. I don't think he's done enough to just beat Roman already.
I mean, I can agree that maybe not SummerSlam. That's a little too soon. I could agree with that. I don't think you need to push it all the way to Mania though. So like, either you want to do it like Survivor Series or something, because I feel like Survivor Series needs a little bit more of a shot in the arm. It's kind of like last of the big four. Like you need something more to make it interesting. Since I guess they're not doing the 5-on-5. I know they have war games and whatnot, but I feel like that'd be interesting to do. But I still think it's going to be him. Because it's like Cody's on the opposite show. So I know he said finishing the story has to end with him beating Roman. I still don't know how they're going to make that happen. But
Well, the only way is it. Well, no, there probably isn't a way. They
You're
wouldn't.
not gonna have him in the Rumble twice. Like we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna have him win the Rumble twice, so I get that. And he wasn't in the Money in the Bank, so I mean, unless he somehow wins the contract from Damien or something.
Let's not be crazy.
I'm just saying, you never know. You know, you just never know. It's possible they're on the same brand, so could it happen like that? Yeah.
Nah, no. Let's move on. No.
I'm just saying it could.
I mean,
It's
maybe
possible. I think that's what's gonna happen? No, but it's possible.
maybe in some far off galaxy that can happen, but not this one. I get what you're saying, though. I just don't want it to happen.
Well, look, let's talk about other things, okay? So we've seen the results of Money in the Bank. All right, we've mentioned we're going to talk about a couple of our future kind of predictions type thing. We mentioned some already. We've mentioned, I mentioned Jay and Roman at SummerSlam. With Damian Priest as the champion, as the Money in the Bank contract holder, are you expecting a cash in soon, or do you think this is more of a long-term thing?
It depends. I really feel like if they don't drop this thing with Seth and Finn and they keep it going, then I would expect for him to cash in if Finn wins. Because I love Damian Priest, but he's not going to beat Roman, so I know that's not happening. So it has to be whoever's champ on Raw, and I just feel like it makes more sense if it was Finn. That's why I really hope that they don't end Finn and Seth, and that kind of go and kind of build that tension between them. But yeah, if it's not Finn, then yeah, maybe long term.
Long term, okay.
Yeah, only if it's not Finn. If Finn doesn't win, then yeah, let it long term. But if he does win, it's going to be Finn, and he's going to cash in on. I feel like it makes sense anyway.
Now, what about Io? Do you think long term, short term?
I feel like that's gonna be long term because again, once you watch that press conference, we can always talk about it later on. It's very subtle, just what they're doing, but I really think that this Bayley feud needs to happen first. And I think it's interesting that they're saying we won Money in the Bank. So I think after she's done with this Bayley feud, and I don't know how long Dakota Kai is going to be out, so
she's probably out probably close to a year.
Okay, yeah, so no, yeah.
Then she tore her ACL. It usually takes 6 to 9 months to get back, but I've seen them mostly take about close to a year to get back. That's usually how it is. I'm trying to think. I think Bayley tore her ACL. She was out a year.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be long term, especially too after she's done with this Bayley feud. Who's champ then? If they don't have anybody built up for Rhea, could she go after Rhea? That whole with Asuka, she has Bianca Belair and Charlotte to deal with right now. So I think Io's going to be long term.
Okay. I'm thinking Io long term as well. I'm thinking the Asuka thing because, I was thinking Charlotte and Bianca at Mania. It looks like it is potentially going to happen a lot sooner than that, which is a little shocking to me. But I thought they'll save that and then have Io, Asuka, and then Rhea versus Becky. Those are my 3 matches for Mania. So I think that would be pretty cool. So I agree with you that should be long term. All right, let me see. What is the let's see. What is the future of our women's tag team division? Who do you think is going to be next in line to step up to them?
I think we really have to assess what teams we have. You know what? I would be okay with them kind of taking a page out of what Sasha and Bayley and Sasha and Naomi did. Just kind of have them go through all 3 brands. Just kind of help build that prestige back up. Because like I said, it kind of took a dip after Sasha and Naomi left, they tried, but now I think they're gonna be a time to try, this would be the time to do it. Liv is really likable. Raquel, she's really working hard. She's making her way. I would just have them just go on kind of like a tour with these things. Just defend it on all three brands, build it back up, give people an opportunity to kind of shine, and then I guess once they're doing that for a while, it'd be kind of clear who some contenders are. I don't have anybody right off the rip who I could say, which is why I think it's important for them to do what I'm suggesting to kind of open some eyes and then kind of make it clear, like, okay, this is something we want to run back and see and develop. Because right now, I like Chelsea Green. Like, I really want to see what Chelsea Green. She's a good character. She's interesting to watch.
Okay.
But I just want to see them defend and kind of just see what those teams can do in those situations, and then we can kind of see who can step up from there. What do you think?
No, I agree. You basically took the words out of my mouth. I think just doing the tour, build up different tag teams, have different little feuds throughout each brand. I think it eventually just help elevate the brand and the division. I mean, and I think that would be perfect. Exactly. If the next champs I would love to see though would definitely be Kaden Carter, Katana Chance. I think those two, to me, have the brightest future of the women's division at this very moment. But there's definitely a lot of teams that they can help build and maybe create some new ones that we can get some nice little things going on with them. Speaking of tag team champions, what do you think is next for our men's tag team champions, KO and Sammy?
Well, let's see. They beat Pretty Deadly on Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Man, I do want to see. You have a lot of tag teams out there. I mean, they were hinting at. I know Tommaso just came back. Johnny. I want to see if they're gonna pull the trigger on this DIY thing. Could you imagine that? Like DIY versus KO and Sami Zayn.
That would be amazing.
And I was watching. Ariel Helwani did an interview with the Usos. It's a good interview. Like, check it out if you have some time.
I did watch it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Did.
Yeah. When they said, who would, like, a match they'd want to have, and they were like, they'd want to have a triple ladder match with New Day and KO and Sammy. And I just thought that was like such an amazing idea. Like, that would be
amazing. It'd be good to see the New Day back. Hopefully that is soon. I think is it Kofi that's still hurt? Obviously, Big E is out still due to injury. But I don't think Kofi's injury was serious. It should have been. He should be back by now. So maybe he'll be coming back soon. And that would be nice to see the New Day in there. New Day versus Sammy and KO would be nice.
Yeah.
Especially if we don't get DIY, that would be a nice little secondary match, I guess. And it's crazy to believe that one of the greatest tag teams of all time would be a secondary match to something I would want to see. But the excitement of having DIY is just something. I mean, that would be amazing. They're just so great together as well. So either matchup would be nice for a future matchup or feud or whatever they want to call it. That would be perfect for that.
I still would have liked tag team belts on Raw and tag team belts on SmackDown. I still would prefer that than them being unified, but who knows if that'll happen.
Well, maybe I'm fine with it. I don't want to see the double belts. I just make one belt and then just do it similar to the women's thing. If they want to go to all brands, I'm perfectly fine with that. And it just helps the quality of shows anyway, having KO and Sammy on both shows. I just think that makes everything so much better. So I'm just perfectly fine with that. All right, got one or two more questions for you. What is a matchup based on the events of right now and potential storylines that may or may not happen? What is something that you really want to see in the near future? What is like the matchup or the feud, or is there a feud currently going on that you just want to see continue? What is the one thing for sure that you want?
That's a tough question. Like I said, I'm really gonna be watching Raw intently tomorrow because I really want Finn to win the title. I feel like that opens so many doors to really cement this Judgment Day thing. Judgment Day has been doing really well, but I think it would just be even more of a shot in the arm to have a world champion. Like I know Rhea's women's heavyweight champion, but like to have one of two main titles, and that stable would be amazing. That's something that I really want to see, and if not just for my own personal satisfaction, I still really want to see Butch and Shinsuke. It doesn't have to be a feud. I just want to give them my 20 minutes and just let them see what they do. I really want to see that. But I mean, that's all I got right now, and I just want them to find somebody for Rhea, please.
Yeah, I looked at the women's roster a couple minutes ago. They don't really have anyone yet. There's people they can build that could potentially get there. Name that I brought up previously before, Tegan Knox is on the Raw roster. I think that would be a nice, they could start to get her built up. I think she has that just natural babyface potential that I think that could definitely help Rhea's run if you have put her up against a very strong babyface or a young babyface that just people want to win. I think Tegan Knox could be that person for her. That could really help just elevate Rhea's title as well.
They really got to get her on screen though, because
yeah.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, I think it will happen soon. I'm hoping at least. That's something that I would like to see. But as for me, I really just want to see Cody and Brock one more time. I think that's probably potentially happening at SummerSlam. Actually, I fully expect it to happen at SummerSlam. I just think they've had already like a good story, and I just want to see it end in a big way, because then I would help Cody. It would help that story that he's trying to finish so well. And I don't know how they get to the ending to finish it, but the middle part sometimes is like the best part of stories. So I think this is kind of like that middle part. And hopefully it has a great ending. And then you know what? I'm just going to say, yes, I do want to see Jay versus Roman. Just such great storyline telling. The ending of that match was perfect. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to continue the joking. That it was a perfect ending. Great callback to that, to their first match that they had with Roman doing the low blow on Jay. So to see them bring that back was pretty cool. And I just want to see them continue that bloodline story, because I don't know how many times we're going to say it, but it's one of the greatest stories of all time, and it's honestly inching closer to the best story of all time. It's pretty much almost there, and no matter how it ends, I think it's easily just legendary. It's easily legendary just the way it is already. So imagine all the stuff that could potentially still happen. Speaking of just callbacks, I mean, did you not see when Jay did the rock punches and he did the spin in the hand and everything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but didn't Roman and Solo do like double rock bottoms or something? That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it was double Uranagis.
Yeah, that's what they call him. It just kind of reminded me of the rock bottom. And I was like,
yeah, so it's. I mean, you see little teases. I'm just saying, there's still more layers they can add to the story. I'm not gonna go that far and say we're gonna see The Rock, but it's something that I would definitely love to see. I know you off of just knowing you, I know that you're not a big fan of Rock coming back and for this story, and you don't think they need it, but I just feel like this is exactly what this could help the story so much more and just prolong it and make it even longer. Which is, I mean, who would want the story to end anytime soon? So that's just me at least. But that is what I would like to see. Let's just continue with this great story, and let's just see how great it can be. Let's just continue it.
I agree. Another great PLE in the bag. Now we have SummerSlam in 5 weeks. So,
Yep.
I mean, they've been doing well all year. So let's just keep the momentum going. Every time a PLE is done, I know you've probably seen that meme where like Triple H is sitting there with like a chef hat on.
Yes.
Picture that every time. We're finishing PLE.
He's done a great job. They've had six
They could,
of them this year. All six, I think, have been really good. I just want to say one last thing before we head out of here. I agree with Grayson Waller. Okay, London does not deserve a WrestleMania. Australia does, because those fans in London were treated my tribal chief terribly. Okay, and they need to be. We need to get out of this country. Now I'm glad they're already gone, and we need to never go back. They're just a bunch of idiots, just like my tribal chief said. I got the Money in the Bank playing in the background, the replay, and I just saw the moment where he was calling them idiots because of the chants that they were calling him. It was just so disrespectful.
I would just like to take this time to remind any of our current and future UK listeners that I do not agree with what Pino just said. I think you all are upstanding people. Don't listen to him. He's just bitter. That's all.
Wankers or whatever the hell they call people.
Don't listen to him, guys. He's just
I had problems with the English people since Call of Duty.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's not insult our people here, okay?
Tired of you guys. Australia for WrestleMania. Let's go. I agree with Grayson Waller.
Well, you guys can find us on social media at Ring Champs JFS. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We started our TikTok, so
yes, we are on TikTok. We got 2 posts up there right now, but we're working on some more to get up there. I didn't get to live tweet, unfortunately, during the event, but
hopefully for the best.
yeah, it's a good thing. Good thing. But we will, we're gonna definitely be up there. So definitely hit us up on all those social media sites. Make sure you check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give us a follow, comment, or subscribe, whichever methods that they have up there for you is all appreciated. But most importantly, just enjoy the show. Hopefully you guys do enjoy just as much as we enjoy working it and doing it, because it's just a lot of fun for both me and Sasha. So I definitely appreciate the love, even you UK fans out there. There are some listeners from UK according to the analytics. I've had like 1 or 2 people listen from there, so I do appreciate you guys that have listened from no matter where you are. I love
even
you.
Though he called you guys wankers, but
Yes, even though you're a bunch of wank. No, it's fine. But
I see, he called you. I did not.
Yeah, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. After the way they treated the tribal chief, I feel like it was well deserved. But it's okay. I forgive you guys already. I forgive you guys. Sasha, any last words you got for the people before we head out of here?
Nope. I just am anxious to see how the tribal chief's going to regroup. Once again, I need them to make a Señor Money in the Bank shirt so I can get it. So yeah,
I would buy that.
I would. Yes. If y'all want to send me one, WWE, just keep in mind I picked it. Everybody else picked LA Knight and Logan Paul. I said Damian Priest. So you want to slide me a shirt at Sasha King Speak? Make it happen, Gavin. So
congratulations to you and Damian Priest on the victory. It
feels good.
I'm sure it does. It definitely feels good when your people win. I wish I knew what that feeling is, but it's okay. All right, guys, we're gonna head out of here. I thank you guys so much for listening. This is episode 5, Ring Champs. Hope you guys enjoy. We out of here. Peace.
Adios.